Hello, my name is Martin Naraszewski, and I want to welcome you to the 2021 Finance, Risk and Billing live event series from TAC Events. In the next couple of weeks, you will have the opportunity to attend 7 live events that are focusing on particular areas within the finance, risk and billing space. What is particular about these events is really first, they are live. They're very much focusing on a particular business area within finance, so very much business oriented. And the range, as you can see from the topics here, is really going from core topics like the financial close or central finance, about how to set up a core finance systems, to broader finance-related topics like tax, treasury and working capital management, which has become extremely important, in particular in the volatile times that we're seeing right now, but also something like the next generation billing, so to say, and revenue innovation management for new digital business models, up to risk management and security functions like internal controls, compliance, but also information security. So it's a broad spectrum, but all of these events are very much focused on a particular business topic to make them as valuable as possible. As I mentioned, they are live, but they are also available as recordings for about 3 months after the event, so you can take your time to see them again, or if the time of the original event hasn't worked, to consume them afterwards. But what is also extremely important is really the focus on customers. This is something we hear a lot from you. You want to understand from your peers, how are they dealing with, what challenges are they having, how are they dealing with these challenges, what journey of transformation are they undertaking, and what are their experiences. So there are lots of great presentations from great companies, leaders in their space. You see the logos here, and there are even more. But what is even more exciting, there's also the ability to exchange live, so to say. At the event, there is an AI matching capability that's provided that will help you connect to your peers, also because they are live events. There's the opportunity for Q&A to make this more lively, and in particular, get you the best out of what you can learn from your peers who are presenting here. I would also like to mention our partners who are helping to make this event series possible, and to highlight here IBM, Convista, Deloitte. They play an important part too in order to make this happen and fill it with content. But now let's go to the content. We have a very extraordinary time that we have behind us with the COVID crisis. I think no one of us has really seen this previously in our lives. And now there's at least the light at the end of the tunnel that things are getting better. It's still not over. We still don't know what will happen tomorrow. But as you can see from the stock market reaction, the trend is really going towards improvement, easing up, getting running again. And with that, companies are looking again into the future and what will they do next to transform. And this is also the experience we've made with our customers. Most customers are now out of the crisis management mode into what is really the best way to get back to the finance transformation that they had planned already or envisioned already before the crisis. But what now has really changed is a much more increased sense of caution how to approach these transformations, because, as I mentioned, it's not fully over yet. COVID is still there, and we still don't know how the winter will be. So from that perspective, yes, the focus is on conducting transformations, starting the transformations, but doing it in a way to do it in a risk minimizing way, small steps, affordable and flexible, so that priorities can still be shifted if the environment is changing. Now, talking about finance transformation, what is the focus of finance transformation? This term has a long history now, and a couple of years ago it started with the shared service movement, bringing people into lower cost locations to save personal cost here. But then quickly that became the starting point for better centralization and standardization of processes. So it's not just labor cost arbitrage, but really making processes better, more efficient, and also with higher quality. And clearly the results were visible. And now the main focus we're seeing in our customers is insights and automation. There was already a lot of talk about robotics process automation, about machine learning before the crisis, and that is still valid, absolutely. But the insights aspect of not only reducing the cost of finance, but getting more out of finance with better insight, this has become certainly a higher importance again, also as a consequence of all of the volatility that companies have seen throughout the crisis. And that is being confirmed by what the world-class or the best-in-class finance companies are doing. We've conducted a survey together with the Hackett Group, and the numbers from these surveys have shown something very clearly. The world-class finance organizations have invested clearly into automation and standardization to reduce the cost of transactional activities, but they have not done so in order to make their finance function, so to say, a cheaper function, but to reinvest to make it a more value-adding function. So clearly the focus has shifted from human activity in mundane transactional activities into higher value activities such as better analytics and business partnership, business advice, but also the support of strategy and in particular the support of organizations to transform the business in a broader sense. So support of enterprise transformation is also an important topic. So it's all about reinvestment, and a lot of the reinvestment is going into the area of analytics. Now, how can we as a software provider help you with that? And the keyword here is S4HANA, our new ERP or broader suite solution set that has a number of distinctive innovations that are enabling this kind of transformation. It's starting with a more intuitive and assisted user experience. And this is not only to look modern and feel, so to say, up to date, but it's really in order to make the work of the end users more productive. Think about approval on mobile devices. If managers can now approve whatever they need to approve when they're on the road, when they're out of the office. So it's making processes faster and it's making these processes much more easier for the stakeholders within the company. And it's saving their time to do an approval because it's just so much easier to do it with a little bit of a click or pushing a button on the mobile device. But what is even more important is really here analytics on devices that end users are really consuming. And end users here in particular the decision makers. So getting the analytics, the information directly in any form at any point in time into the hands of the decision makers, that is a real step change of what S4HANA is providing your organization. And that will transform truly the insights aspect of how systems can support the business. But all of this information on whatever device is only possible if it's available in real time in a single place. And therefore providing an integrated data and process platform for all of the various finance areas to basically live on top of the shared common data set and have immediate access to the full set of data, that is extremely critical in order, first, to improve processes, making them more integrated, but second, to have the necessary information and the right combination available for the end consumer, so to say, within your organization at any point in time. And also this is something S4HANA is providing. And last not least, we have invested into better automated processes, intelligent automation of processes, which is important to make sure that the information in this platform is accurate at any point in time and the processing that is needed in order to create information of relevant accuracy is happening as fast as possible. Now, this is still relatively conceptual, so what does this bring to you concretely? And here are a couple of examples of improvements that you can get by essentially only upgrading your ERP system towards S4HANA Enterprise Management, which is the core of S4. I don't want to mention everything here explicitly, just to highlight a few. Margin analysis, for example, is providing a significantly improved way of profitability analysis of your products or your organizational units. We've streamlined the allocations throughout the various areas of the solution in a more unified way. What is a really critical improvement is intercompany. Your peers have told us many times that the management of intercompany reconciliation can be a quite time-consuming and manual labor intense process that is often becoming a bottleneck in the financial close. So we have added new automated capabilities to do this within this one S4 system in a streamlined, automated fashion. We have a new cash management system with lots of reporting capabilities, just to mention a few here. But that is only, so to say, the starting point. And now the question is, how can you go best into this new world? And the logical first step is going from ERP, if you're coming from there, towards S4HANA Enterprise Management, which is, so to say, the core of S4. But we would recommend to take your view a little broader than this, and from the beginning have your eyes also on SAP Analytics Cloud and SAP Group Reporting, our next generation consolidation solution, because it's the triangle of the three solutions which is really providing this next generation steering and analysis. The seamlessness of information between the accounting to the consolidation and the planning, or you can consolidate plan data and so on. That's working very seamless between these three solutions. And with them as a core platform, you can do your accounting, you can do your closing, entity and group level activities, and of course all of your financial planning analysis. And the core here is really the single source of truth of information within the S4 system. Now, on top of that, of course, there's a lot more possible. SAP is providing the most comprehensive solution set for finance functions, and whatever function within an office of the CFO organization, we have a dedicated solution set that is running on top of this platform, that's leveraging all of this seamlessness of this platform. But the good thing is you can adopt in the speed and the way you want. You can decide how far-reaching you want to adopt. You can decide in what sequence you can adopt. Once you have this platform in place that I described at the bottom or at the core here, then it's up to you to take your own speed from further improved and automated continuous close process to, for example, treasury and risk management, but also risk management functions from a compliance perspective, tax, and so on. There's a rich portfolio of solutions you can leverage here. But now some of you may say, that's all nice, but I have 10, 20, 30 ERP systems, and I just cannot afford ripping and replacing them all together to have this one single finance system. So how can I get to the benefits when I still want to retain my supply chain in this system? I have maybe regulatory requirements in some business unit and so on. And we also have an answer here, and that is central finance. Central finance is not a separate solution. It is an implementation model, so to say, of the S4 solution set that I've described before. But what we can support, even with out-of-the-box integration, is real-time replication from your ERP systems into the central finance system. So the way how this works is that the individual transactions, whatever purchasing events, sales events, are still happening in the ERP systems of the past, so to say, your legacy systems. The financial valuation of these transactions is also still happening in these systems, but then the valued records are then in real time individually going into the central finance system. And this central finance system is then becoming the central book of records, so to say, because all further refining activities like the financial close or working capital management, cash management, analysis that's happening on top of your financial information is then all happening in this single platform, central finance. Now, what we really see is with our large customers, who essentially all have fairly complex environments, that central finance has become the de facto standard of S4 adoption in these customers. Clearly, they also have plans to then upgrade their logistics systems towards S4 because there are also lots of benefits, but finance via central finance can become a front runner here. Now, as the last trend that we're seeing is really the move into the cloud. SAP can offer all the capabilities that I've shown in the slides before also in the cloud, and we do have various cloud deployment models that give you the choice to get the cloud experience that is the best for you. Now, from a business perspective, what is really the benefit of the cloud adoption? There are several, but a key benefit is the acceleration in which you can adopt innovation. New upgrades, for example, but also if you need to scale the system because your business is scaling, the adoption of new models because your transformation is extending to new functional areas. All of that is happening much faster if you do it in the cloud. Clearly also for your IT organization, the IT footprint is reducing and your IT organization can focus much more in supporting the business and orchestrating a complex solution environment rather than focusing on stepping up servers and connecting them with the internet and all of the other mundane things. So with that, I come to a close. Would like to again remind you of these 7 live events that can give you more insight along the direction that I was just outlining here. And I hope you find this useful. I hope you will have exciting and information-rich events and also great exchanges with your peers and learning experiences from what your peers are doing. And with that, I wish you great experience with these events and also a great future for your company. Thank you very much.